Welcome to the Rising Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Mark J. Silverman. So what do you do if you're freaking out? What do you do if someone comes to you, they say something to you, and it just triggers you? You lose your shit. You're angry. You just can't control the emotion that's coming up to you. Now, that happens to all of us. It happens a lot to the people that I coach because I'm often coaching high achievers who are just used to the pressure, but not used to everybody coming at them and needing them and that kind of thing. And sometimes, they lose their shit. And I'm often called to teach them some emotional intelligence, to teach them how to handle those situations because they're no longer an individual player. They're someone who's has to lead other people. So you need to be able to be even tempered when, the shit hits the fan, especially inside of you. So what do you do when that happens? Let's see. Where would I start? Let's start with a story. I have to eat my own dog food. I always have to eat my own dog food. Whenever I teach something in my life happens to make it so that I have to use what I teach just to make sure that I learned it and I have firsthand experience. So last year, my eldest son came to me and he said that we went for a walk with the dogs, and he said, "Dad, I want to let you know something. I want to do something," and he proceeds to tell me what he wants to do, and the thing that he wants to do scares me. Now, I don't know that it scares me yet. The thing that he wants to do triggers me to no end. He's a wonderful kid. He's just happens to be super brave, super committed, and wanted to go do something that I felt would put him in danger. And I was about to lose my shit. I was just like, I couldn't breathe. I was in fight or flight, and I didn't know whether to run, hide, or beat the shit out of someone. And it wasn't going to be my son because I love my son so much. So what I did was I breathed and I shut my mouth and we walked a little. And then he goes, "You're mad at me, aren't you?" And I said, I said, "Nope, I'm not mad at you." He goes, "No, you're mad at me." And I breathed a little more and I just waited and waited. And then I said, before I said it, I realized it. I said, "Actually, I'm scared. What you just shared with me scared me. So I need a couple of minutes to deal with myself." So we walked a little more, we walked a little more, we walked a little more, and I worked through it in my head. I worked through my fear. I worked through what exactly it is I was afraid of, because what was going through my head was anger. I was blaming people. I was trying to figure out, who I was going to torch for putting this idea in my son's head, all that stuff. So I wasn't rational. So I talked myself off the ledge and got down to what my core fear was. And then I got myself to who my son is. And then I was able to share. I said, "Thank you for giving me the time. I needed to deal with myself. What you said scared me, and it scared me to my core. You're my firstborn son. You're my precious son. I love you so much. And what you said, sounds dangerous to me. And here are the reasons why it scared me. Now, I want you to know, I think you are super brave. You're such a committed guy. You want to help people. And I'm so impressed with that." So I started to acknowledge him for the reason he wanted to go do this. I said, "And it's a little much for me. It's not, of course you're an adult, you can do whatever you want to do, but this is a little much for me. And if you go do this, just know I will be home worrying." I didn't want to lie to him that something was going to be going on. And we walked for a little while, and he said, "You know what?" He says, "I won't do it. I want to honor you, and I won't do it." And I was glad. It was something that was really important to me, and I don't usually put my foot down on these kinds of things, so I did. But we had a wonderful conversation. He felt validated. He felt loved. I felt respected. So now let's dissect what happened there. I often I often coach drivers, people who are just super drivers and who don't really understand the impact of their passion, of their of their fire in the moment. For them, it's on a 2 or 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. For the other people that they're talking to, it's an 8 or a 9, and they're just completely bowled over. And so one of my clients said to me, Mark, what do I do? I've learned to shut my mouth, but these people, they know I'm mad. Like it's just here, and I don't want to be inauthentic, and I'm going to erupt. What do I do? I said, you can't hide it. If you're triggered and if you're pissed off, you can't hide that emotion. But what you can do is be responsible for it. So for me, what I did was I said I needed a couple of minutes to deal with myself. And then after a couple of minutes, I was able to tell him he's not bad. I'm just scared. So with my client who said what to do with this, I said, you know what you can say is, I'm triggered. It's not you. It's the situation. So give me a moment to kind of sort out what we just talked about, because they know you're mad. They know you're losing your shit. But now you've taken it and you put it off to the side. It's not going at them, it's going off to the side. So they're not getting blasted. And they know that you're taking responsibility for your emotions, because you can't just put a bottle on it. So basically, I said, I'm scared. These are the reasons I'm scared. And then I honored him. So with my client, what I said, what I taught him to do was say, okay, this situation, this is what scared me about the situation. This is what I think could go wrong. This is what I think what's happening. Tell me more about what you're doing. And now they can work through it. But the anger got thrown off to the side. For me, the anger didn't go at my son. My fear didn't even go at my son. I was able to report on it rather than giving it to him. So that's when you're losing your shit, you cannot be inauthentic. Um, you can't completely fake it. But what you can do is take responsibility for it, name it, make sure it doesn't go on the other person, and then give it a chance to subside. It may even say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a walk. I'll come back. We'll talk about this later. Uh, we have executives on executive teams who are all drivers, and they now have that language where they can talk to each other and say, I'm triggered. And one of the other, when they're going at it and they're just kind of head to head, and one can say, I'm triggered, I'm freaking out here. The other one can say, great, let's slow down, let's find out why you're triggered. Right now, you have a partnership. If you have this shared language, because we all lose our shit. So think about it. When don't try and hide it. Just name it. Take a couple minutes. It's gonna feel embarrassing, but I'll tell you the truth. It's powerful. It's super powerful to go, you know what? I'm a little triggered right now. I'm a little angry, not at you, at the situation. Give me a moment. Or if it's at them, again, even if it's at them, it's not really at them. Like if they made a huge mistake, they're a precious child of God. They're a human being. So being mad at them is kind of silly. But mad that the mistake happened, that's different. Like the situation is overwhelming. The situation is not a good one. So give me a minute to deal with myself, and then we can be in partnership. That was a lot. It was actually not exactly the direction I wanted to take this conversation about handling your shit when you're losing your shit. But I guess it's good enough for a little 5-6 minute conversation. Hey, shoot me notes if you have any questions. It's also in the Rising Leader Handbook. Be authentic, but take responsibility for your emotions. I love you a ton. Have a great rest of the day.